So our guest for today is Kofi Adams. He's the national organizer of the NDC. Good morning, Kofi. Welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Good morning, Wilberforce, and good morning, Jifa. Let me use this opportunity before even you throw your first question or salvo to congratulate you for what you have done to be called to the bar in this country. It's not an easy thing. A lot of people start, but very few are able to get to the point that you have gotten to. So let me congratulate you.
Thank you very much. And I also want to say a big thank you for showing up to support. That was very, very beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
I feel like this is a father-son moment. You guys should hug it out.
Anyway, so we'll go on to our first story.
Yes, our first story
Page 15.
here says, bloody clash at Adiesena. 7 sustained gunshot wounds. So 7 persons have sustained gunshot wounds during a demonstration staged by some farmers in the new Ebirim district of the eastern region against mining giant Newmont Achem mines. And one of the demonstrators said several attempts to hold dialogue with authorities of the mining company for renegotiation of royalties paid by the company failed, and that's why they took to the streets to demonstrate.
So yeah, I think the basic thing, they're saying that the amount given them in compensation is very, very woeful.
Yeah.
It's very, very small. And some of their lawyers have told them that that amount should have been given them yearly. But for the past 15 years or so, they've been given just 7,100 cedis. Sad.
I think if they have realized that there's a mistake somewhere and that what is due them has not been paid them over the years, they have every right to go sit and get what is due them. And these are the areas that you need government intervention, because sometimes if you leave these mining coins alone, they are so powerful that they would want to rally their power and deal with these communities as if they don't even have any right. And government needs to show some attention. The question is, what is the 110, 111 appointees doing if you cannot stand in for this community, realizing that, look, they are not being given what is due them. And so in the midst of all this, you will have the vice president come to tell us that, oh, all is so rosy and they have done so well. I don't blame him, because if he can constitute such a huge delegation for a trade conference, alongside the wife also having.
I think you're deviating.
I'm not deviating.
We're talking about a mining. We're talking about a mining company not treating farmers well and their employees well.
Having also a own delegation, and one of his directors coming to say we should even be grateful to them that the number was not even larger than this. What do you expect? They will leave the farmers alone to fight it out, and I want to encourage the farmers to truly fight it out, because even today, Africa as a continent is asking for some reparation for whatever was done many years ago that we didn't know it was going to cost us what it's costing us. So I think that is right.
But are the farmers not being a bit too hasty, and should they not wait, for instance, for the court processes to conclude? Because the issue is in court right now, and they are still demonstrating. You
see, it's as if saying that immediately you adapt one tool, use one tool all through. We don't use one tool in these type of fights. You use combination of tools. There's a group that is in court. That doesn't stop another group from also exercising their right of what? Demonstrating. And so I don't think that they have gone there to do anything that is unlawful. Demonstration is part of the rights of every citizen. And they are saying that as far as they are concerned, negotiations have not helped, and that's why they are demonstrating. It doesn't stop another group that have also decided to go to court from going to court.
Well, to be fair to Newmont, they are entitled to, all minerals within the land is that of government. And once Newmont have acquired the permit to mine such areas, the government has also done the necessary EIs for compulsory acquisition of the property. And so the property is that of Newmont. Even if the farmers want to graze their cattle or they want to put up structures on the land, they need the permission of the company, of the private company, Newmont.
Wilberforce, the truth of the matter is that the immediate persons who suffer the impact of mining are those communities around them. And so, for whatever reason, they should benefit in many ways from whatever comes out of such processes. Whether what goes to government or what is supposed to come to them direct. Indeed, whatever goes to government, part of it should be spent in investing in such areas. Because when you have all the arsenic content of the food items in all those areas increasing, the first people to suffer will be the people who eat, who get their food from that area, before others who are far, who may depend from time to time from foods that will come from that area. The air they breathe, if it's polluted, they suffer the most. And so, for whatever it is, whether government acquires it compulsorily and therefore government is dealing with this mining, that is why it's stated in there that some social responsibility, something they are supposed to benefit. If we have sat there and analyzed and realized over the years, what has been given to communities is not enough, and it cannot compensate for the harm that is done to them and their environment, I think they reserve every right to go into some negotiations. If they are not seeing any positive results from the negotiations, nothing stops them from using the tools of demonstration. The only thing I will not support is to vandalize and to disrupt the activities of the mining company. But to demonstrate, it's a constitutional right. Once they follow the due process in doing so, and to go to court is also their right. So I don't think that they have.
But their demonstration was to prevent the workers from mining on that particular day.
It depends on what it is that you want. When you are demonstrating, you want to have an impact. If it is that you are able to stop them from working a day, that is what will have an impact. You would want to adapt. You want to adapt that. If you are successful in causing that, because you want to inflict something, not deadly, but the company must suffer something to at least compel them to sit and talk.
Okay.
Because if you read the story, they are telling you that they have tried attempts to engage and it's not just working. So you are trying to demonstrate. Your demonstration is not like you just want to walk through the street for people to see that you are working. You want to have an impact. You want that impact to be felt. You want that impact to compel the people who should sit down and talk with you to sit down and not just come and sit down and look at your faces, but to know that if we don't engage and to give in, maybe to give partly, that will not cause us harm, and these type of demonstrations continue, it can affect our work. And if it affects our work, we may lose even much more. So these are tools people use to get. And once they have followed due process, I would not oppose the committee. But they must not do anything that will be destructive to the equipment. If it is that, as a result of the demonstration, workers could not work, but you still have to pay these workers because it is not their fault. So that will mean that cost of doing your business will be going up. You will want to sit down and engage.
Okay. Thank you.
Government should also at least give an ear to the communities concerned. And with government intervention, it brings some balance.
So the government should mediate what's going on.
Government should be interested in.
Okay, we've been joined by Richard Ahiagba, who is the Director of Communications, NPP USA Chicago Chapter. Good morning. How are you?
Very good morning to you.
So we're discussing the bloody clash at Adiesana. 7 people sustained gunshot wounds, and pretty much there's a mining company there. The farmers, they are saying that they are not being paid well. I think the fee is 7,100 Ghana cedis per acre for the farmers. For its 15 years concession, but the farmers think the money is too small. They've been trying to have a dialogue with the company. Nothing has improved, so they've just taken to the streets. And as a result, 7 people have sustained gunshot wounds.
And in connection to that, Newmont Ghana Limited is saying that farmers were fairly compensated and they should allow the court to decide, because the matter is before the court right now, yet the farmers decide to demonstrate.
Yes, I was following that news with some nerve to see that we have, on one hand, a court procedure that is supposed to address the very thing they're trying to press for. I think that they have every reason to demonstrate, except that on one hand, if you are trying to address the issue of bankruptcy, that should be the route they follow. But be it as it may, I think following their action, Newmont, I think, is committing to look at that package, the compensation for them. And I'm happy they emphasize their core values to be one of engaging constructively with their community. So I think be so the case is a court, the less said about it, the better. We just hope that those who unfortunately have got themselves hurt would recover. And then let's all understand that we have a system in this country. If something is unfair, let's just trust the legal system to work, especially if there's a process underway to address that particular issue. Demonstration, I think, should not have been the case. We should just press their case harder. If there's other avenues they want to seek, if maybe the case is taking too long, I think they can make other demands to expedite their case if that was the case. But otherwise, I don't think that demonstration was called for. I'm happy that Newmont is cooperating and is seeking to do right by them.
But the farmers even being fair as it stands right now, because what's happening is that, or what the process per the Minerals and Mining Act is that when such a compulsory acquisition is made, because the minerals in the soil actually do not belong to you, the surface owner.
Yes.
So you still may have surface rights to graze, and you may put up structures subject to the consent of the mining company. Now, before you are even compensated, there is a form of valuation done in your presence as the owner of the land.
Yeah.
So once the valuation is done, you have agreed to the valuation amongst others. And now later, you want more money. Are you even being fair to the system? To the extent that even when a case is in court, you decide to demonstrate against a company who is already in court with you.
Yes.
Instead of simply seeking an injunction, maybe.
Yeah, perhaps, yes. But you see, these things happen because the valuation, the fairness of it. You see, this is aside from, sidestepping the process that is already underway. To the extent that they feel maybe we're not giving a good deal, that I think they can press in court. But this comes on the heels of, other areas where minerals are mined, that the communities are left.
And that was my question for you, actually, because I think a lot of mining companies come into our country. We can talk about Takwa or Boise. You go in there and you would not even know that this is a town that's producing so much wealth for the country, but we've not even demanded anything of these companies. So should it have gotten to a point where these farmers are demonstrating, or should we have done something about it, made sure that these companies would do right by the farmers? Yes,
and that's actually something that what this here is actually reinforcing, that we need to engage more. These communities, I was in the Obuasi area, Takwa area during our campaign, and what you said is true. These companies, they trumpet having corporate social responsibilities, but to what extent is that delivered? What impact are they having on the people?
But shouldn't our government demand it of them when they're coming here? Because we go out there, we say foreign, we want foreign investors in our country. We're going to, Ghana is investor friendly. Then these guys come here and they do whatever they want, and then the average Ghanaian is the one suffering. Yeah,
you see, ours is an evolving process. I'm aware of a similar thing that happens in the States. Oil underground wells that are drilled on people's lands.
And these companies are sued for millions, but in Ghana nothing happens.
Millions and millions of dollars offhand. It's it's a no-brainer to get them reasonable amounts. Ours is an evolving process, and I think that the unfortunate incident there in the Brim North, that this is going to give us the room to begin to demand more, to pay more attention. But I wouldn't say government would have done that. These are parts of the development steps that we're going to take to get there. So apart from the disruptive nature of the demonstration and all that, I think that this starts a conversation to say the 7,000 or so, is it fair?
7,100 cities.
Yes, proportional to what dividends they are going to get. So that's supposed to be a good thing to have. So if they had left this alone, maybe not do the demonstration, press this case in court, and engage.
But they've said they've tried to have a dialogue with them, and they've not succeeded.
Well,
right? So at what point do you,
but you see,
stay and wait?
Yeah, it's a ball of many things. But what I think we should do now is let's look at it fairly. Okay, go to court or however many avenues they have to address the issue essentially that we're leaving these communities devastated after the fact. What is it that we're doing to help them? Maybe is there a way we can engage them to see your corporate, social corporate responsibilities are such that we can see the impact of it, so that it's just not more lip service and little action, that it can be substantial investment in those communities. Because it hurts. You see those things being done, and as a country, we have those people there, and they must benefit immediately, and it's not the case. So the only thing I discourage is the disruptive nature of it. Let's focus on the issue, and I think that if we focus and use the system, we'll get a dividend. It may take time, but that's the nature of it, but let's be persistent and push it.
Okay, thank you very much, Richard. Now we'll go for a quick commercial break, and news review continues. Remember to send your messages with the hashtag Breakfast Daily on the WhatsApp line
0550-585-832. We'll be right back.
Citi TV is live. Citi TV is a free-to-air digital channel. On a digital TV, please press menu on your remote control and run a new search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV on your television. Citi TV can be accessed on a multi-TV digibox. Tune into Citi TV and experience your world. Citi TV, it's your world.
Welcome back. This is Breakfast Daily on Citi TV. Thank you so much for being with us. It's the Wednesday the 17th. And before the break, we were discussing a bloody clash at Adiesana. 7 people sustained gunshot wounds over some issues with a mining company. Okay,
so we are going to look at the issue of NABCO workers. Ekufado to commission NABCO recruits today, and I'm reading from citinewsroom.com. It says President Nana Addo Dankwa Ekufado will today, Wednesday, officially commission recruits for the Nation Builders Corps initiative, and the program seeks to employ 100,000 of the country's graduate youth in various sectors of the economy. So today's event will see the beneficiaries who went through the successful interviews placed to start working. So the story goes on to say here as well that finding jobs for the country's youth was one of the major campaign promises of the NPP in the run-up to the 2016 elections. And critics of government have, however, said that the NABCO initiative is not sustainable. But government insists NABCO, which is one of its many interventions, will help deal with youth unemployment. I'll start with you, Kofi Adams, on this particular story.
Yeah, and before we get to Kofi Adams, some people have, especially the nurses, right, they shared some concerns that they didn't want to be on NABCO. They preferred to have been employed permanently and be paid. It says here that certified nurses earn about 1,100 Ghana cedis, while some diploma and degree nurses earn about 1,600 cedis and 1,800 cedis, and NABCO, they will just be making 700 Ghana cedis. So they were really worried about that. And we also talked about the youth in afforestation who have been complaining that for the past 4 months, they've not even been paid.
young persons have a right to complain because it is based on what you told them you will do and the expectation. That will be the only reason why they will be complaining. You can't promise me and invite me for a meal of fufu, only for me to arrive and then you have boiled cassava and grind pepper, hot pepper for me to come and enjoy and say that, oh, fufu is made from cassava. So if you are eating cassava and then pepper is the same thing.
But one will say getting cassava and pepper is better than being hungry, and it's a good first step.
And I'm saying that you promised me fufu. And I know fufu will either be taken with light soup or with groundnut soup or with palm nut soup. And so I could prepare for, or even the green soup or any of those things. I would prepare for that. Only for me to arrive. Then you will serve me boiled cassava and pepper and say, oh, I should have this because fufu is made from. I will by all means full protest. You see, the nurses were told in training school and those out that all you needed was to vote the man called Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and your employment will be guaranteed. The then president, who was also a candidate, was arguing that I have not put you in because I needed to put the facilities in place. Some are almost complete. And when completed, we will be able to recruit more of you and place you where you are supposed to be. Then these nurses bought the other person's story that, no, you have been there for all this while. If you truly wanted us, you could have taken us on anyway. After all, Kolebu needed more nurses. Kolebu is already there. This one needed more. Why wait to finish the new ones you are doing before you bring us in? Those were all the arguments. Now you have come in. That space is still there. They still need these health professionals to perform those duties. You are picking them to go and perform those duties that you promise you will pick them to perform. But instead of picking them and putting them on the salary that they knew they will be placed on, you are picking them as NABCO and paying them as if they are not professionals. Meanwhile, their counterparts, some of them finished with the same year, who had had a chance to go in, will be earning 1,007, 1,006. And they coming in under NABCO doing the same job will be earning a 700 Ghana cedi. You think that they shouldn't complain? In the same economy, the same treatment? And of course, this other category that will be earning 1,617 will have all kinds of other benefits. A higher SNIT contribution, a higher this, a higher that, and even if they, the NABCO persons, will have any SNIT contribution, your SNIT contribution from a 700 Ghana cedi salary will be very small. If you have taken it, so they have every right to complain.
Okay, but should we be happy for the general employees
beyond the nurses?
Beyond the nurses.
Of course, every opportunity to engage persons, even for voluntary purposes, I would support it. I will go for it. I'm not talking about even just for volunteers. I'm one person who has been pushing for the volunteer activity because that was what used to help this country so much. If you visited our communities and then they were so clean and the rest, it was all out of some volunteer work. Potholes were being filled regularly. The bushes on our roads was being cleared through volunteer activities. And so I am for any form of what? Engagement. But when you are engaging people and you are pretending and sometimes clearly and lying to them as if you have done something for them and they should necessarily clap for you that this is what you told them you were going to do. That is where I worry. That is where my worry comes.
Where are the lies you're talking about?
And this whole NABCO thing is not sustainable. Cannot be sustained in the form that is being designed. We have, this country, we like repeating things, creating institutions and wasting so much. We already have National Youth Employment Authority. What is it that we so want? We have to be creating all manner of bureaucratic systems that will waste so much money. If you go and see the bureaucracy, how much you will be spending on the bureaucracy, that alone could employ even a lot more persons. And that is why I thought this is a project that could easily have been run under the previous system. Because within the Youth Employment Agency, the YEA, there was graduate internship, there was all kinds of systems that existed. So why is it that you just want to name something so that you will be associated with it and take credit that, oh, this is what I promised and then I have done it? Because if you continue with what had been there, it will just look like a continuation of what was being done. So let me stop what is being done, even though that bureaucracy is there and people are being paid in that institution. Let me create another bureaucracy and name it NABCO, and to be associated with me, to be seen as fulfilling my campaign promises. We don't build a nation that way.
Okay.
We have to take a leaf from some of the things that past leaders have done. Take, for example, President Kufuor. He was not lucky to have been in government at the time he was campaigning. So, of course, he made a lot of promises. When he got in, he saw that, no, some of the promises were just not possible. And so he did what? He apologized and went on, oh, this will continue, that will continue. President Mills came. He did same. President Mahama continued with the effort. Why the rush in changing, renaming things, doing this, planting for food and jobs, the program that had already existed, NABCO, this, that, and creating its own bureaucracy, wasting so much? For me, that's my worry. Aside the worry of these professionals who feel that, look, there is space, there is opportunity for us. More health institutions have been added to the stock. The old one that existed need more, and they are not there. Take us on that and not this thing that you are doing for us.
Thank you.
I'm worried about the repeated bureaucracies that is taking so much from the coffers.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Richard.
Now, some young people are worried. I mean, we hear news of youth in afforestation not being paid. So in as much as they are happy that 100,000 people will be employed, there's still this sense of, are we even going to get paid?
Yeah. My brother started the analogy, so let's continue with it. If you promise somebody fufu, and inevitably you're going to be adding soup, but then if the person who gave you the assurance to make that promise bolted with a mortar, okay, how are you going to pound the fufu? You understand? I'm talking about his government before us. That gets a
So you didn't even get the
we didn't get the mortar to pound. So all we have is what we're offering.
But you shouldn't say you can make fufu if you don't have the
They
resources.
bolted with it. That's
So
what
for
I'm
2
saying.
years, you have not gotten the mortar back.
Okay, let's move on.
For 2 years, you have not been able to get the mortar.
That's the
Which
case.
one is the mortar? I assume I don't understand what you're talking about.
Maybe
Which one is the mortar? No. I'm not saying like, I mean,
Is it the one
in
bar or the
practical
woodrow?
terms, which one are you talking about? That they bolted with what exactly? You're saying his government bolted with something.
They give us an economic condition that could not allow us to pound the fufu for the people.
See, that makes sense.
You understand? They dug us a hole.
But didn't you know that there was a hole before you promised that?
But didn't you hear them during the campaign that they are doing well? When we said they were not doing well, were they saying yes, they're not doing well?
So you knew that they were not doing well?
Yes, you promised
Because
them
you
fufu.
disagree with what we
So
said.
if you know that there was...
You knew there was no mortar. You knew there was no
We were
mortar.
saying it and they said no, there is.
But
Then
then
you
if you're
knew
saying
that-
it, then you know that there isn't.
But
And you
then
agree
don't
that
be
there
that.
isn't as well.
It means that you agree that it wasn't.
So you
No,
agree
anyway.
that you messed up the economy,
I'm
Kofi?
not agreeing.
You
I'm
have
just
to
saying
say
that.
because-
No, I'm honest.
No,
Let me just a
let me
minute.
have
Just a
let him-
minute.
let him
Then
make
you
his
continue.
submission.
No.
Just a minute. Then
30
you
seconds.
continue. 30 seconds. I'll do so. I'm happy he's saying what he's saying. That they said the situation was so bad. They had made those promises.
And you just agreed that, yes, the situation was bad.
They had made those promises that the situation was worse.
Yes, and you
than
agreed.
No,
We
I'm
didn't
not
make a
agreeing.
promise. We were telling Ghanaians.
No. They made a promise.
They told us the situation is
and
bad.
then we said this was the situation. They
No,
said
you said no, situation was good.
listen,
Let's
yes,
finish his
Let
30
him
seconds.
finish.
And
And
then
they
you
You have
come
10
in.
we were
seconds,
lying.
Kofi.
When we said the situation was good, they said we were lying. Meaning that
They
they
knew,
knew
yes.
that the situation was bad and
Bad.
that we were lying.
Yes.
So you made your promise on a bad situation. So if you came and you said you met a bad situation, you already knew the situation was bad when you were promising the fufu.
Yes.
So you cannot now come and make an argument that because we said the situation was good, that's why now today you have met a bad situation and then you cannot do what it is that
You're a lawyer.
Yes.
Okay, so before we proceed, okay, and I can retract my analogy, he must agree here and now.
The situation was bad.
The situation was bad.
He agreed.
I'm not agreeing.
He
What he's
agreed.
saying-
You
No,
agreed.
he agreed.
You
You see,
agreed.
you have to agree.
He
I'm
said
not
that,
agreeing.
he said assuming
I'm
it
not
There
was
agreeing.
cannot
bad.
be any assumption. We're dealing with facts.
I am not
Was it
agreeing.
bad or not? Because
You
I'm
see,
saying it was bad.
and I'll
That's
tell
why
you
we don't
why
have
I'm
more
not
time.
agreeing. But I don't want
it's
you
okay.
taking his
That's
time.
by the way. Let me just go.
Okay.
Let me just go on. You see, this is the case. They left us a bad situation.
Yes.
We were saying it. They said, no, it's good, it's good. We came and it was really bad.
But you knew it was bad.
We were saying it was bad.
So you knew it was bad?
Yes.
Okay.
You had
So
to
we're
make
not-
promises.
So why would you make promises if you knew the situation was very bad?
What promise did we make?
Oh, one
No,
district,
wait.
one factory,
No,
one
no.
village, one
Yes,
dam.
yes. So
many
Everyone will be
promises.
employed.
Yes.
The health sector will be. I mean, the promises
No,
were
no,
endless.
no. It's
Production over taxation. I can keep
right,
going.
right.
Do you want me
And
to
I
do?
wanted you to say, that's why I asked the question.
Okay.
And all of those promises you mentioned are geared towards solving the mess they left.
Okay.
But you see, one thing we all must know, as individual, Jifa, if you have a Bentley today, you'll like it, but you work towards it.
Yes.
That's what we're doing. We understand that Ghana should have Bentley.
But you shouldn't promise
Okay?
me a
We-
Bentley if
No,
I don't
no,
even
no,
have a
no, but
Picanto.
we have the capacity to do that.
But
You understand?
currently, do you
And
have a
give us-
Picanto to tell
Differ-
me to look forward
No,
to a
no,
Bentley?
differ- hold on,
Because
hold
if
on.
you promise me a Bentley and I get a bicycle, I won't be happy.
But of course, you give us a 4-year mandate.
Yes.
Okay, so
But
allow
if you
us-
told me
No,
I'll
no,
give you a
Jifa,
bicycle, I'll
So
be
the youth
happy.
in afforestation will be paid in 4 years?
No, I'm not even saying
No,
that. We're just dealing with the analogy for now.
Yes.
Okay? If you
So
allow
the
me,
analogy is,
If you
I'm
allow
sitting
me-
here right now. I don't have a car.
yeah.
If you told me I'll give you a
Use his
bike,
Bentley. Use
a
There is-
bike.
there is-
If you told me you give me a
He
bike,
said use his bike.
and you even gave me a scooter, I'll be happy. But if you tell me I'm getting you a Bentley,
Yeah.
and you don't even give me a Picanto, you gave me a
Then you're
bicycle,
Busanga.
I won't be.
Not even the bicycle, Busanga.
But you see,
You know, I'll be disappointed.
Yes.
Because you made my expectations were so high.
Jifa,
I thought you were going to bring
won't be-
heaven on
you won't-
earth.
You won't be realistic if you are so disappointed. Because look, you will now have faith in me that I kept my word that I was going to do this for you. And I'm telling you that the circumstances under which I gave you the bicycle will change. So inevitably, I'll get you the Bentley. This is the kind of government we have. Because look, you have inherited a situation that cannot allow you to do the Bentley. So you have faith that I am not denying you a Bentley because I don't want to. But I'm not giving it to you
Right now.
because the circumstances are different from what I thought.
Okay.
And being so that somebody
Left it that way.
Okay,
left
so
me a
know,
mess.
knowing
So now,
that,
let's
wait,
go.
sorry, Richard, knowing that the situation was bad, they left the economy very bad. Granted, let's
Yes.
just say
He hasn't accepted that
purposes
yet.
of your
he's
argument,
accepted it.
let's
Okay,
just say
I
that
haven't
it was
accepted.
very
Go
bad. Now we employ less than 20,000 people for youth and afforestation and also
They're
for
not
the
being
national
paid.
identification. They've not been paid. Still knowing the situation is bad, why don't
Yeah.
you go ahead to employ 100,000
1,000
people?
Yeah.
You see, those 100,000 people.
And the NABCO.
Yes, and the NABCO will be telling you, why are we home today?
Yeah.
Okay, and we're not being paid.
They don't want to work for
No,
free
wait,
either.
wait. What I'm saying is that you deal with a situation
When you get
with all the options you have.
Yeah.
So what we have done under NABCO, I am having very strong faith in NABCO that it will begin to produce the outcomes that we're looking for. That is not only are they going to be there to earn whatever the amount is, like 700 or so, but it will lead us to building a new mindset. Okay, or those people involved in the NABCO will begin to build capacity in ways that, assuming the expiration of that 3 years when they exit the program, I think it's not only necessarily exiting, but I think some of the enterprise component of it are supposed to take 50%, of the people after the expiration of the program. I'm thinking that those people would have,
Develop some skills.
of course, develop some essential skills that will lead them to becoming more productive or more or less participate in creating the wealth that we're seeking to do. This is devising a solution to a problem that all of us confront. And I'm saying to us here, what would you have done in your personal life if you are faced with these situations. In real time, you improvise. In real time, you don't just stop living because you are faced with challenges. That's what we're doing. So I hear the nurse that is saying some other people are employed in a system where they're making more and they had the same training, but I am in NABCO and I'm going to be earning 700. I hear them. I hear the youth that is in afforestation that is saying that we're not being paid for so and so. I hear you. But I'm saying that here we are at this material moment. We are Ghanaians. If we can achieve the objective that we set for ourselves so that our children tomorrow, okay, would live in a better Ghana, then we must make these essential sacrifices. And this is not intended to punish anybody, but it's because we are in a bad situation and we are moving forward as a country together. These things will be dealt with. They will be paid. The challenges that we face is an evolving one, and we will deal with everybody to make sure that all of them are attended to. But let's understand.
Do we do proper planning before we employ these people?
With all these roadmaps,
why do we employ Why do we employ people knowing that we cannot pay them?
Because, Richard, the reality on the ground is, if I graduate from college, I'm probably the breadwinner of my family. People literally put money together to put me through school. I'm not only responsible for myself, I'm responsible for my nuclear and extended family. Now, here you employ me. I have to feed myself. I have to take transportation. I have to think about rent. And you're telling me to sacrifice for the better of the country. I want to sacrifice for the country, yes. But at least my 400 cities, my 700 cities that are just taking care of my basic needs should be guaranteed. I shouldn't wait for 4 months to get paid because times are hard.
That's what I'm saying, Jifa. I hear them. I hear them. But the point I am saying is this. The point I'm saying is this. Look. What are the alternatives?
The alternatives are to plan properly and let me know that, Jifa, at least you will not be paid for 4 months. So Jifa, I also come prepared.
Allow me to make the point here. The alternatives are you will not be employed at all.
Yes, I'll be home.
But you see, the afforestation program is essential. You and I will agree that it is. You understand? So as a country, we want to do these things to help. And you as an individual, you're seeking that income to be able to solve a problem. So I'm saying that we have a common interest. The convergence of our interest is what we are seeking, that as a country we are building. So what is not intentional, Jifa, that these people will not be paid or their payment will be delayed. I need to check into that because the last time I spoke with a couple of them, they were okay. You understand?
They were okay?
No, I spoke, no, not in terms of having received their money, but they're okay being part of the program and they understand what I'm telling you.
Not being paid for 4 months?
No, I'm saying that they were okay being on the
videos, so they were demonstrating.
I say I spoke to some of them.
Yes, some, okay.
I'm not saying all of them. I spoke to some of them who were okay. They understand the thinking behind what we're trying to do. Because look, Clyde, let's understand this. What is the alternative?
The alternative is now you're bringing 100,000 people under NABCO. What's going to happen? The alternative is people are worried, Richard.
Listen, we have a reality here. We have inherited a bad situation.
Yes.
You understand? We inherited a bad situation. I think we don't say that enough. So that it makes the NDC emboldened to come and sit and talk about this thing as though they have left us a pound of gold. They have given us this bad hand. Look, let me just conclude in 1 minute.
It's easy to say that. That's an easy
because you promised us change.
They left us a bad situation.
You promised us change.
You knew it was a bad situation, yet you still employed people.
Let's move on. It's not fair.
I've sat quietly. You must give me the chance.
I sat quietly when you said yours. So you see,
it's
not fair if we do this. It's a look at a relay, okay? A relay run. If I am to finish for you, and you give me the baton at a certain point where you came in late, okay, and I didn't end up being first, you, the same person who gave me the baton late, cannot be the same person preaching that I came late.
Well, he's preaching that you're changing a lot of things.
No.
Richard,
I'll let you have the last word.
Let me just say that. So the truth of the matter is that we have not said this enough. And I'm not going to shy away from saying it because it sounds simplistic. But it's the fact that the hands were dealt are such that we cannot do all these things, but we are trying to do the best we can under the circumstances, and we're doing just fair. And I'm saying that all these people should just hold us in trust that all of their needs will be attended to.
Thank you. Thank you.
Here
10
is
seconds.
a part. No, I can't do it in 10 seconds.
Please go on.
This is a very important subject that we can't do in 10 seconds. If it's 10 seconds, then we better end the program, then we go on. This is a party in opposition that have been in government that criticize a size of government, that our economy was too poor to support an 83-member government. this same party now wins power and finds money to employ 111 ministers. They have criticized 83 that the economy was too poor to support that size. Richard and his president and vice president Baumia finds money to employ 111 ministers, paying them. There is no trouble with that because it's jobs for the boys. We had 870 something presidential staffers. They found money to employ 1,600, paying them. There is money for that.
That's not true.
Please?
That's not true.
That's the list.
That is not true.
Please.
That is not true. Please.
I think it was
That is not true.
It was 900.
Just let them say the right.
Look at the finance ministers. I'm not talking about
You have to accept
2017.
it's not true.
I am not talking about the 2017.
Okay, I'm talking about the
I am
Jubilee
talking
House.
about the subsequent one that the finance minister himself sent to Parliament. His budget.
Okay.
The projections is to move it from 986 to 1,600.
Okay.
I don't
But say
know
what exists.
Please.
Yeah.
I'm not
Okay.
talking about 2017.
He did not
I'm talking
interfere.
about
Oh,
what
he did.
what
He
would
did.
happen.
He did not
now.
interject.
Yes, he
Please,
did. Go on.
they found money to do that.
Okay.
SNIT is not a production unit. SNIT had just a deputy director. They have found money to create many more deputies. Go to NCA. They have found money to create many more deputies. They have found money to do same for Cocoa Board. But they tell you that this is an economy that is worse off than they thought it was. You were criticizing 83 ministers because you said the economy was bad. It couldn't support that size. So if the situation is worse than you thought it was, why appoint 111? Why not reduce it to 50 to say that because the situation is worse than you thought it was, you have reduced the size of government? You see, when they talk, they forget about their action. They are only talking with their mouth what is convenient to be heard, but they forget about their action. That you have 111 ministers when you criticize 83. This is the same government.
Are you going to give me time to respond?
This is the same government that after 3 months in office, 100 days celebration, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia said, they have done so well. They have managed the economy so well. They have arrested the dollar because at that time, the Citi was doing very well against the dollar. They have arrested it, locked it, and handed the key over to the IG. 3 months in office, you claim credit for what had happened to the stabilization of the economy. More than 15 months later, when the economy is further sinking, you come back and say they should blame the previous administration.
Nobody said that.
Please?
Nobody
That's
said
what you have just said.
No.
In 3 months, when you were taking credit for what it is that you didn't do, you didn't give that credit to the previous administration. 15 months on, when your failing is glaring, it's so
going to
clear.
finish?
It's so clear that
wrap up,
you
Kofi,
are
please.
now
Kofi,
putting the blame
wrap
on
up.
a government that have exited long ago.
Well,
Thank
to
you.
be fair, the
Thank
blame
you.
was not on the previous government. The
Talk
blame
about
was
that.
on
Nobody said that.
Yeah, it was a
Please,
global
please,
issue that the
please.
dollar was
Which-
doing well
No,
against
which
all
global
other
issue?
currencies.
Please, the blame.
Which
No,
global
he's
issue?
talking about the dollar.
The situation of the
Okay.
city.
Which global
The
issue?
specific
Yes,
issue.
it is.
global-
The
And I can tell
the
you
reason
that-
given by government
that-
was that the dollar was doing
that-
well against
that-
all other currencies.
Look,
and it
it's not
wasn't
even a
just-
reason given by us.
When
It's the fact.
Please,
It's a fact.
please,
Yes.
Okay,
please,
Kofi, we do have to allow Richard respond.
Wait,
Please
Kofi,
wrap up.
Kofi.
Please
even wrap up.
So
Kofi,
let me just say
just wrap
clearly.
up, Kofi,
let me
please.
say again clearly. He says we took the mortar and pestle.
Come on, you're going all the way
Kofi,
back.
let's-
No,
let's
please.
not-
You
let
can't
me
just
give
take
you
it. You can't hijack
Let
the
me
show.
give you-
No, Kofi, we have to wrap up.
Let me give him a minute. He's had all the
day.
Come on.
Kofi needs to wrap up.
Maybe-
You need to wrap
maybe-
up, Kofi.
Why? If you allow me to talk.
No, they can't allow you to talk
Maybe-
all over. They
maybe
use all the time.
President Mahama and NDC
Yeah.
uprooted the Ridge Hospital away and took it away. So there is no space to recruit the nurses.
Thank you.
Maybe
Thank
President
you,
Mahama
Kofi.
and NDC uprooted the University of Ghana Medical Center and took it away. Maybe they don't know what hospital. We uprooted it and took it away. Maybe the recent hospital we take it away. That's why there is no mortar. There is no person for them to do
Kofi raised
that.
a lot of issues.
Yes.
He talks about government spending so much in a country where we are not even making enough money, right? And at the end, we're saying we can't pay young people because there's no money. Yet, you know, we keep employing so many people in the public sector. What's your response to that? Because we clearly see new deputies all the time, and we're saying we're going through hard times.
This is very simple.
Yeah. So why are we spending so much if we don't have enough revenue to sustain the economy?
This is simple. First of all, we have to agree. The premise of this discussion is that we have a bad situation that we inherited. Okay? Now, if you have an F-150, you know that vehicle? It's a pickup.
Ford, yeah.
Let's not do any more analogies. IMF brought out a report.
You didn't interrupt him.
Okay,
let me flow with my thought.
Okay.
You see, here's the thing. If you have that,
Kofi, please.
Richard, go on. Richard, you have less
if you have that vehicle, which is your stuck in mud, would you need more people to pull it?
Yes.
Or less people?
More people.
That's simple.
Or less people who are stronger. If I had two people like you, it would be better than two people like Wilberforce.
No, the answer is obvious. Your first answer is correct. Okay? So what we're saying is that the guy gets a hole, they got a stuck in mud.
Please wrap up
Audience
fast.
wants more.
Richard, please wrap up fast. Drink tea.
Here's the thing. You got us stuck in a place. We need to pull ourselves out.
Yes.
That's what we're doing.
But you can get stronger
please,
men. You don't need more men.
What I am saying, Jafar, you didn't interrupt him. What I am saying is this.
So he's saying they need
Kofi,
111 minutes.
Richard,
I can do that.
Wrap up. No, Richard,
I can
wrap
do
up
that.
fast.
This is a very nice show. But I can do that.
No, don't.
Wrap
Okay.
up fast.
Well, I'll do that unless you control
Please,
it.
please.
Look, here's the thing. What we are trying to do is to get us to a place. What they have done is the mess we're trying to clean. So when the same person sit here, look, I want you next time to bring a CPP person to sit here because they have fresh ideas to contribute. They have no grounds to come here and be saying the things he's saying.
Okay.
He's playing an ostrich in a way as if that they are saints. Since when did they know how to manage the economy when they mess it up?
Because we didn't appoint
Since when?
111
Thank you.
ministers.
Thank you. Thank
We
you.
didn't
Maybe
appoint
you should have.
111
Thank
ministers.
you.
Maybe
We
you
didn't
should have,
appoint
so they
3
won't mess it
deputies.
up.
We
Thank
didn't
you very
establish
much.
development
Richard
authority.
Anyagba.
You didn't
Go and
learn
ask
2 years
one
how
of
to
your
manage the economy
persons
after 8
here
years.
says why he resigned from the development authorities.
Kofi,
Why and ask them why he
please,
resigned from
that
the
one is not for
development
discussion.
authorities.
Kofi.
Yeah,
That
of
is not for
course.
discussion.
You have
Kofi
not
Adams
learned
is the
why
national
they resigned from
organizer
the
of
have
the
not
learned
managed the
NDC.
economy
And
in
of
1
course,
year.
Richard Anyagba is the head of communications at the Chicago chapter NPP. Thank you, gentlemen. Please, we need to be, mindful of our viewers.